This is Montserrat culture, we'll be proud of it forever.
This is Montserrat culture, we'll be proud of it forever.
This is Yogi Laser and I'm on my way to have an interview with my Montserrat. You know, Montserrat is #1 in the Caribbean. Much respect to all Montserratian, love and out to the bone. Yeah, Yogi Laser, peace. Like my Montserrat.
Okay, welcome to my Montserrat, Yogi Laser.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for having me, man. It's a pleasure, you know.
Tell us which part of the island you're from.
I am from the central part of the island, which is Molyneux, a place where they call Trenchtown, you know. The all the marijuana grow. Well, the name Yogi Laser really comes in a spiritual way. You know, first I was the mighty patriot. That's what I wanted to call myself because I'm a man who really loved my country, you know. And I wanted to get in the Calypso arena, so I went to Randy Greenway one day and tell him I got a song and my name is Patriot, and he told me that somebody already have the name Patriot, but he said he's looking for a man to give him a name and say you should be Laser, and that's how the name started. It started with Randy Greenway, a musician and a teacher in Montserrat, calling me Laser.
Okay, so you are an entertainer. What exactly do you do?
Well, I'm a yoga master in which I perform yoga contortion as entertainment in America and throughout the world. I've traveled to many different countries, you know, performing yoga, advanced yoga as entertainment. And the grand finale of my show, I go inside a 17-inch box, which amazes people's mind to know how I can fit my body in such small places. The act is pretty comical also, you know. I will make you smile, I will make you scare. It's just something that will totally amaze your mind.
Bringing you to a state of joy. This is the goal of yoga, to make the individual stress-free, and joyful, peaceful, and loving one another.
Folks, you're looking at 5 feet 8 inches being broken down inside the 17-inch box. As soon as he closed the box, go crazy. Everybody clapping and screaming. Come on, folks.
Okay, how long have you been doing this and where did you start?
I've been doing this for 30 years. You know, I started in Montserrat. You know, and after 10 years in Montserrat, I migrated to the United States. We have been performing now for 20 years, you know, and I perform throughout the United States and the world.
Tell us a couple of the places that you performed.
Well, I perform places like Colombia, it's in the Spanish world, Mexico, you know, Puerto Rico. Perform in France, you know, Belgium, Holland, England, Canada, United States, Caribbean islands, so Guyana, Antigua, St. Kitts, Nevis, you know, a lot of different places in the world I perform. But some great moments that I remember is performing in Cartagena, Colombia, with a friend of mine who is a reggae superstar in Spanish. It's El General, and perform like 80-something thousand people in the audience. And also did a great show for the Mavericks, that's in the halftime NBA game. Performed with some friends of mine from the Calypso Tumblers, which is an acrobatic group. A mixture of guys from Caribbean islands such as Guyana, St. Kitts. Yeah, well, I've been in a number of TV shows. The first TV show I was on, it was Showtime at the Apollo. From Showtime at the Apollo, I went on to the Arsenio Hall show. Did a show called The Richard Bay Show. Shows also like The Late Show with David Letterman. I did Good Day New York, Good Morning Orlando, and I do the early show with CBS. I also do a TV show in France, Antigua and Barbuda, you know, and I did TV shows. There's just so much of them, you know. Can't really talk about all of them right now, but that's some real well-known TV shows that I did, you know. Also, you're talking about America's Got Talent, that's recently, and there's so much, you know.
Okay, so how about movies?
Well, I did a few movies. I did one that really didn't make it to the screen called Acid Rain. You know, I did another one that really make it to the big screen with Adam Sandler. It's called You Don't Mess with Zohan, in which I played a DJ who get tied up in knots, you know.
This is what I'm talking about. You play this?
I ain't playing this Cornish. Yoga is powerful, and it begins with love for yourself, which is love for the breath of life, mindfulness of the breath of life. Because the breath of life is universal vibration that begins all creation.
What are you doing music-wise?
Well, I'm a Calypsonian. That's how I started out first, you know. And I've done a lot about 4 or 5 cities, you know, and I've been to the Calypso finals in Montserrat 4 times in a row, you know, and I did a reggae album called The Definition of Love, and some other cities such as Stronger. I did Home Again, and you all know, Montserratians know, you know, I really never make it internationally with the music, but hopefully I'm still alive. Hopefully in the future I'll be able to get my music internationally, you know.
Where can we find your music online?
You can find my music on my website, which is yogilaser.com. You know, just go to the part where it says music and you'll find my music there.
So you're getting an award from Funky Man this year. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel proud and I feel honored and respected, you know, that Montserratians really appreciate what I do. Because, you know, I work very hard as a contortionist, you know, and being the first contortionist of Montserrat who really go out on his own internationally and be a success, you know, being on so much television shows, even movie. I feel really proud that they're honoring me, and I want to say thank you all very much, and I'll continue to serve Montserrat with dignity, you know, because that's a place that I love. I started out as a patriot, now I'm the light, Yogi Laser. You know, thank you all very much, man. Job well done. Thank you.
You want to say something?
Yeah. Ladies! This one is called What Your Man Cannot Do.
Ceci s'appelle ce que votre homme ne peut pas faire.
If your man cannot do this,
Si votre homme ne peut pas faire ça,
leave him.
quittez-le.
Okay, so are you still performing?
Yeah, I got life, you know, and as long as I got life, I have to be performing, because this is what I do for a living. I just recently did a show in Brooklyn at a Coliseum where I do a Christmas show for the kids. I think we showed on Channel 69 on cable TV on Wednesday night, you know, and I perform for a lot of parties all over New York and throughout America. You know, I perform for halftime NBA games, and Also, I perform as a street performer at the South Street Seaport Mall, where I perform for tourists also, so you can get me there. But when I'm not doing that, I do gigs, such as parties and all type of different stuff. And I'm also a yoga teacher. Right now I'm teaching private yoga at my apartment, you know, and I used to work for the Equinox in Darien, Connecticut, and also Mamaroneck, where I teach yoga, Ashtanga yoga. Well, I'm a practitioner of Ashtanga and Hatha yoga, you know. First I started out with Hatha yoga and then I moved into Ashtanga yoga. It's a little more advanced than Hatha yoga, but it's still Hatha yoga because Ashtanga yoga is a part of Hatha yoga. And right now I'm trying to create my own style in which I call Laser yoga, where I merge Hatha yoga and Ashtanga yoga together, you know, using these techniques of Ashtanga and Hatha. And I create it and call it Laser yoga, which is the power of enlightenment, which means mindfulness of the breath with love, you know, and movement of the body.
What do you miss most about your Montserrat, the Montserrat that you grew up on?
I miss going to the mountain, you know, and taking care of the animals on my farm and doing cultivation, you know. I also miss the city, you know. I go into the city and hang out with the guys, you know, having a good time and stuff like that. That's what I really miss. Because I'm from the part which was evacuated, and I really do miss that, you know. I miss Trenchtown and all the good things that we used to have up in the mountain, you know. It's sad, but we still have part of the island, you know, and that we occupy. And I think that well, I mean, even though we miss it, we will always remember the old Montserrat, you know, and try to build a new one even much better than the old one, you know. And personally, I would like to see Montserrat be an independent nation. That's my dream, and I hope I live to see it happen. Well, I can be contacted via email at yogilaser@yogilaser.com. You can also contact me on Facebook, you know, you can just type in Yogi Laser. You can also contact me through my website, which is www.yogilaser.com.
This is Montserrat culture, we'll be proud of it forever.
This is Montserrat culture, we'll be proud of it forever.
Thank you very much for having me, man. And to all Montserratians, this is Yogi Laser saying, hey, I love you. Because love is life. You know, I am in love with life. Thanks and praise to the Most High, the Holy Spirit that lives within us all, the light of the world. Respect. Peace.